What's up, guys? Welcome to Courtside Soundoff podcast today. I'm Josh Soundoff. He's Angel Ortega. We haven't had a podcast in a bit due to, life shit. Our boy Angel, he's got a new job, personal stuff going on with me. I worked Friday at Invicta, and I have a job outside of that too, so we're still here. We didn't miss a week. Still technically Sunday, still a part of this week, alright? But last night was UFC 247 from Houston, Texas, and it was one of the worst judged cards in UFC history. It was so poorly judged, in fact, that most of Dana White's post-press conference was spent debating whether or not, the judge was literally insane that scored the fight 49-46 for Jon Jones. And I guess that's kind of looking forward, but let's get into the main event straight off the top, because there's a whole lot to talk about in that card. James Krause coming in on 24 hours notice. He came up short, and a lot of people thought that he won. But regardless, it's a lot of controversial decisions. Lauren Murphy got that win over Andrea Lee. Most people thought she lost. Derek Lewis got a controversial win, but I didn't think that one was actually very controversial. I thought that, rules state you have to do something with takedowns, But regardless, main event. Jon Bones Jones, the reigning, defending light heavyweight champion of the world, considered by many, not me, to be the greatest fighter of all time, but he is, at the very least, the greatest light heavyweight of all time, and he's in the main event facing Dominic Reyes. A lot of people thought that Jones was going to walk through Reyes, and instead what he got was arguably his toughest fight since the first Gustafsson fight, and a fight that many people, myself included, in fact, I'd say the majority, thought that Dominic Reyes won that fight. The first couple rounds, Dom came out throwing heat. Round one, he dropped Jones with a punch to the body, which a lot of people were saying it was a slip. You could argue whether that's a slip, but it was still a knockdown. They're like, oh, he punched him to the body. That doesn't count. I'm like, do you guys watch the sport? You can knock somebody down with a body punch. Like, he sat him down immediately, punched him in the chest. Like, that's still a knockdown. Regardless, that part's not even discussion because round one was clearly for Dominic Reyes. Round two, Dominic Reyes comes out, throws a flurry, and to start off the round, it's a bit slower of a pace. And Jones seemed to be getting back into the fight, after a clear round one for Dom Reyes. But regardless, the general consensus that I saw was Reyes took that round as well. And according to significant strikes, statistics, he took that round. He did take that round. He outstruck him. So, all that. Round three comes out. Dominic Reyes. He stuns Jones. Very badly, in fact. Way worse than in round one when he actually dropped him. He stung with the left hand. And Jon, you knew he was hurt because he started shooting for his life. I thought commentary did a really bad job on showing that Jon was actually hurt because he was shooting for his life in there. Like, he was working as hard for a double leg as I've ever seen him. And full credit to Dominic Reyes. He got it, but for 2 seconds, and then Dominic Reyes got back up. He did a phenomenal job on the takedown defense in that round, and, I thought he took that round. And then, the end of the round, he came back on strong. That kind of middle part of the round, I'd say was totally Jones. But also, it really kind of looked like Dom Reyes was kind of taking it off and trying to get his stamina back after he nearly finished Jones. Rounds 4 and 5, clearly Jones. Clearly Jon Jones. No discussion to even talk about there. They weren't 10-8s. However, they were very clearly Jones rounds. So that's why whenever we went to the scorecards, the general consensus was that we were going to have a new light heavyweight champion. I saw on Twitter from the media members. I talked to some media people after, with myself. I talked to them after, and general consensus was that, Dominic Reyes won that fight. Dana White said Dominic Reyes won that fight. But if you followed the judging all night, it was no surprise when the scores were returned of 48-47, 48-47, 49-46 for Jon Jones. Dana White literally said whoever judged that 49-46 for Jon Jones was insane. And I couldn't agree more. The second I heard that 49-46, I was so confident that Dominic Reyes was the new champion, because I think you can't give him you can't give him more than one of the first 3 rounds. If you give him more than one of the first 3 rounds, you're fucking insane, or you didn't watch the fight. But anyways, I'll just ask you, Angel. I know you didn't see the whole fight, but based off of my synopsis and seeing the first couple of rounds, what did you think of the fight, and were you impressed with Dominic Reyes?
I like that he went for it. I'm going to be 100% real with you. I don't think many people who and in the UFC, and especially when it comes to certain big moments like this, don't want to chase that first round initially. But I saw off the bat he came, put that pressure on Jones, wasn't afraid of his long ass arms. He kind of brought it to him. He had a good series of I liked his mixture of punches, legs, kicks, body, head. He wasn't really chasing one constant thing in the entire match, which I thought was good, and I appreciated out of him. Because it can be boring when someone's going after leg kick, leg kick, leg kick. Just that constant leg check is annoying. And then maybe you'll go, for a couple, hooks here and there. But I just like how, when it came to punches, I didn't know what was going to come from him. He had the body kick, the head kick, a good, a fair bit of uppercuts, a number of uppercuts that I just did not expect out of him. And I was honestly worried for John, multiple times. I was like, is he going to get cracked? Is it going to happen? Because there was times where some of those shots that he connected clearly, and the uppercuts were just straight perfect, and I was impressed out of that. And as far as that, I mean, the first round, I saw it. He brought it to him. I thought it was good. I thought he won that. Second round, I thought he did a good job again. And then third round is where I kind of I got to see it, and I thought he'd still go. I was like, okay, Dominic's doing really good. I mean, you only need the first three to win, and then from there on, I mean, I didn't miss out on it, but you said Jones very clearly won those last two, so I mean, through that logic, I thought, Dom probably should have won, and I mean, it was an impressive, showing out of him. I thought, I even said, and the only reason I picked Jones was just because of, I was like, well, champion, track record, history. And we talked about it before, I was like, I do have some faith in Dominic Reyes, but I didn't want to pick him. For some reason, I didn't want to pick him, and I probably would have picked him normally. I think I would have done it. I didn't do it in this case for some reason. And I had a lot of faith in him. And I still do. If they ever run it back, I still have a lot of faith in him. I have a lot of hope in him. Because he did a great job. And I mean, in the last two Jones fights, I mean, we've seen the Thiago Santos fight. I mean, he won it, but it was kind of a weird feeling because we were like, did he actually win it? It didn't feel like too much of a victory, but he did. Maybe he just edged it out and we didn't want to admit it to ourselves. And then in this fight, I mean, we don't think he won it.
Yeah, and here's the thing, is the Santos fight, I went back and I rewatched the Santos fight, and I will admit it, I was wrong. I thought Thiago took that fight 48-47. After rewatching it, I've rewatched it at least twice since then, and I've kind of changed my opinion where I think I was just kind of a victim of the moment, and I thought that he was having more success than he ultimately was due to the fact that he was fighting on one leg. But here's the thing about Dominic Reyes. Dominic Reyes, I don't think I'm going to change my mind on this fight. There's nothing you can – rewatching this fight is not going to change my opinion because it's very clear what happened in the first three and the last two. It was a very clear thing. Whereas Santos was throwing a lot of stuff, wasn't really landing that much. Jones was throwing some, not really much landing either. But, he had the octagon control, and it was a weird fight where not a whole lot happened, but you were like, yeah, maybe Santos won, maybe Jones won. It was tough, but I don't think that's going to happen. And I picked Reyes, and it was kind of, I picked Reyes for a lot of reasons. I went back, and I've watched Dominic Reyes ever since his first fight in UFC Oklahoma City in 2016. I believe that was his first appearance. If not, it was his second against Jeremy Kimball. And I've seen him fight a lot, and I don't know if I've talked to you about it. Maybe I have off air, but I was like, he's got a lot of the attributes that makes you think that he can pull the upset. And part of me picked it because I want to be the dude that was right. I want to be that asshole. But the thing is that he's a long, lanky southpaw, and John. The only times he's ever struggled is against guys that are long, that can kind of nullify the reach, that can get in on him, and fight at range as well, because if you, John started off his career fighting against guys with 12-inch, he had a 12-inch reach advantage against guys like Machida, and Machida still tagged him, and the only time we've ever seen John vulnerable was in that first round or two against Machida, and Machida is a southpaw, very explosive, and there were just little things. John's boxing has a lot that leaves a lot to be desired. And whenever he's heading back, he always keeps his head up in a straight line, or he'll always kind of duck to the side whenever he kind of trails off away from somebody. And Dominic Reyes actually noticed that too. I saw him land a head kick whenever Jones kind of ducked back, after a combination that Dominic Reyes threw. And I just thought he's a very smart guy, former IT guy, funnily enough, and he's very explosive. And here's the thing that Anthony Smith actually had a great point. Anthony Smith fought John Jones, and he's like, fighting John Jones is mostly mental. Like, not all mostly, but he's like, a lot of it is mental. A lot of the guys walk in there like, I'm facing the greatest fighter of all time. I can't do this. I can't do that. And Dominic Reyes did not give a flying fuck who John Jones was. And he went out there and he started brawling, and he brought the fight to Jones, and I thought he won. I thought it was a clear Dominic Reyes win. I saw a lot of people like, well, you can argue 48-47 Jones is fine, but I'm like, 48-47 Jones isn't fine. Like, people are like, you should beat the champion. I'm like, he did beat the champion. He took 3 rounds out of a 5-round fight. The late rounds, the championship rounds, don't mean more than the early ones. And the 10-point must system, just because you had a good 4 and 5 that weren't 10-8s, it doesn't matter. People are like, you can't run from the champion. You can't not do well in the championship rounds and win. I'm like, that's not how that works. That's not how the sport is scored. Just because he's a champion doesn't mean he gets points to start the fight. Anyways, I think I've ranted enough. In the co-main event, Valentina Shevchenko taking on Caitlin Chookagian. This one we all knew was going to be a slaughter. I like Caitlin Chookagian. I thought maybe she can do some things because Valentina, either she goes out there and she straight up murders, or not a whole lot happens. That's just her fighting style, because she's very much a counter striker. But this time she came out aggressive. She led the dance as much as Caitlin Chookagian did. But I really didn't see a path to victory for Caitlin Chookagian at all. And that's pretty much what happened. Valentina outstruck her, took her down, really just did anything she wanted to. And that's the thing that you should know it's a dominant victory whenever you can do literally anything, and it's working. And in the third round, she took her down. It looked like Caitlin kind of conceded the takedown because she thought maybe she could do something from guard. I saw her she kept on trying to throw up triangles, but none of them were really going. And then she got taken down. Valentina immediately moved to the crucifix position, and she just laid down some elbows and got the stoppage victory. You know what, Angel, I know what you're going to say about the performance. It was obviously incredibly dominant. It was incredibly good. But do you think, my question, do you think Valentina Shevchenko will ever lose at flyweight? Do you think anybody can even challenge her?
And it was a funny thing I was going to bring up. I was like, do you think anybody in that class even has like half of the striking ability she has? I think it's simple as that. I don't think anybody's at her level when it comes to striking, probably in that weight class, dude. It's just simple as that. I mean, if anything, we'll probably have to be in the future someone who's just an amazing grappler and can just last enough on the feet and make it take it to the ground. And I think that's probably how I see her losing in that class. I don't really see her ever getting cracked or hurt or struggling in a match to just straight up stand up. I'll be 100% real with you. Because I think her striking is just at another level. I think it's going to take forever for someone to catch up. And honestly, it's going to be just a matter of age or just someone coming in who's just close enough or just at the same level as her. Because she's just so far ahead of everybody, I think, when it comes to striking.
Yeah, and that's kind of something that I think so too, is her striking is so dangerous also because her ground game is incredibly good. She's incredibly strong. And
that's the other thing. She's not even bad on the ground.
Yeah, she's great on the ground. It's easy to forget it because she's a stand-up fighter, But she submitted Juliana Pena on the ground. She's fucking legit on the ground. People forget it. People sleep on that. And she made Caitlin Chookagian look like a white belt on the ground. So, after the fight, she said maybe she'll fight Joanne Calderwood. Joanne Calderwood's been around at flyweight for a while. She's been good there. I think someone like Joanne Calderwood, I don't think she'll win. I think at this point, the current crop, I don't think anybody beats Valentina Shevchenko, and I don't even think it's particularly close either. But someone like Joanne Calderwood, who's a very big flyweight, she's taller than her, she's wider than her, she's a pretty good grappling base, former Muay Thai champion. I wouldn't be surprised if she competed well against Valentina, and maybe someone like Roxanne Modafferi, who just tenacious pressure, coming forward the entire time, great ground game. Maybe she can give her a problem, but those are two of the names that Valentina threw out there for her next fight. And she's like, yeah, I want to stay active. I want to fight. And maybe those are two options, but you know what? I'll be honest with you. You could sell me on a Roxanne Modafferi fight because, like, what is it? She dominated her sister Antonieva Shevchenko. She beat Antonieva, and that was a big fight. That Roxanne is just a complete underdog. Fucking love Roxanne Modafferi. You could sell me on that, like a redemption kind of fight storyline-esque thing. But overall, there's not a whole lot at that division where I think anybody can even compete against her. Was there anything?
Been knocked out once in her career? Did?
Huh?
You know, she's only been knocked out once in her career.
No, and I can't even think about who that was against.
It was a long time ago. I looked it up.
It was the Carmouche fight, right?
I'm not sure off the top of my head. I looked it up because I went to the Macy Barber fight. I'm like, Macy's only won via knockout. This girl's only been finished once. You're talking
about Roxanne Modafferi, my bad.
Yeah, you're talking about Roxanne.
Yeah, that was a slam takedown. I remember it was in Strikeforce.
Okay, yeah, I looked it up, dude.
Very much a freak thing.
So yeah, I was like, maybe that Valentina and the Roxanne fight wouldn't be that bad because it would maybe go the full distance. Maybe we could steal some rounds on the ground and it'd be very boring, but it'd make some interesting storyline,
Yeah, I think you could sell me on it. Like, I think that, like, the storyline of Modafferi, maybe this is her big moment. This is the big one because she's had a UFC title fight before, but that was on like 24 hours notice. Like, she got moved up to the main event because somebody missed weight on the Ultimate Fighter show. She's never really had a full opportunity to train for a UFC championship fight, and she's very much been a journeywoman. 24-16 record, not that impressive, but you look at some of the names. She has been through the fucking grinder. At one point, she lost like 6 in a row, and she's rebounded to work her way into title fights and all that stuff. So she's an incredibly good fighter, and you could sell me on it because she beat Antonieva Shevchenko, and you can sell the storyline of Valentina's going to redeem her sister, all that stuff. But right now, Valentina Shevchenko, here's the thing is like. She's technically, I'm not sure if we've talked about this on the podcast, but like they split the men and women's pound for pound rankings, which I think is an interesting decision because now people like Jessica Eye are ranked in the pound for pound 15, like top 15, which is, but Valentina is number 2. I think you can argue that she should be number 1 just on the pure fact that like she's never going to lose that division. Like she's going to break all the records for like most title defenses. I think Nunes right now has the record. I think she has 6 or 7. And if we're talking entire UFC, obviously it's DJ with 11. But
should be 12.
Should be 12. Never mind. Let's not get that because that'd be going back to the John Jones thing. That was like last night. Like people like, you gotta beat the champion you gotta beat them convincingly. And I'm like, well, I thought Henry Cejudo lost that fucking fight, and like half the people did. And I remember when that fight happened, I'm like, maybe we're getting rid of the thing that shows you have to dominantly beat the champion because that's fucking stupid. But apparently I was wrong because John Jones gotten the benefit in 2 very close fights. The past 2. But anyways, yeah, so Ronda Rousey has the record at 6. Valentina Shevchenko is going to breeze right through that. Like, it's not even going to be close. Because, you look at that top 15, I don't have it pulled up right now, but she named, like, 3 people, like Jennifer Maia, who has missed weight a lot recently. She won't even have that. Roxanne Modafferi, which you could sell me on that fight, but, I don't think it's going to be that excellent. But, like, you look at that division is like Caitlin Chukagian just got dominated. Jessica Eye got knocked out. Joan Calderwood brought up, could be an interesting fight. Jennifer Maia, she won't make weight for that fight. There's no point in talking about it. Roxanne Modafferi, I like that fight. Vivian Arjuo, not very interesting. Lauren Murphy, not very interesting. Andrea Lee is an incredibly high-level kickboxer who I have a lot of hope for. I thought she won that fight against Lauren Murphy. I think that could be a fun fight, but I don't think she'd win. Macy Barber, somewhere down the line, maybe, but she's suffering from like a torn ACL, so we won't see her for like a while.
That's long distance away.
Yeah, and so then you have people in there, Alexis Davis, no chance, Antonieva Shevchenko, her sister, they're not going to fight. Yeah.
That would be badass, though. I love to see that.
That would be badass. Which sucks, because Shevchenko, she's a really good prospect, but she's not going to get that title shot. She's not going to fight her sister, so. And even you look at Montana De La Rosa, there's no point in talking about these people because they're not going to win. Like, and God bless them. A lot of these are high level fighters. I love Macy Barber. I love Andrea Lee. I love Roxanne Modafferi, but they're not gonna beat Valentina Shevchenko. So we'll see how long. Maybe this will age like milk, and we'll see. But like,
No, it's good.
we'll see what happens. Do you got anything else you want to talk about? Touch on at UFC 247 or nah?
No, shout out to my boy Derek Lewis. That's a black beast.
His balls is hot.
Balls was hot. I see he cut off the Popeyes chicken from his diet. He looks good.
You know,
maybe he's going for maybe more salads at Popeyes. That's what he's been doing.
Maybe Popeyes salads. I don't know if Popeyes actually has salads, but
I have no idea.
Sure
but he looks good though. He's cut some weight down, and I think it's good for him. So
yeah, he's weighed in at 260, and normally he used to have to cut like 20 pounds to make weight at heavyweight. So
he's looking good.
He's looking good. He got that win against the Latifi. He's 2 wins in a row now. I'm happy for the man. Get himself right back in that title picture. Derek Lewis somehow wins fights, and like he doesn't ever look that impressive. But like, he's still winning, you know. And I thought, hey,
I don't even know who he's gonna fight next, though. That's the issue.
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. We had the whole heavyweight debate. Yeah, no, it's probably like Curtis Blades. He's the only one who's not tied up, right?
Yeah. Blades coming off that win against Dos Santos. Yeah,
unless they want to do Volkov versus Lewis, too.
Ooh,
revenge match.
That'd be interesting. I'd watch it.
Because Volkov just fought for the first time in fucking ever.
Yeah, you got that win against Greg Hardy.
There you go.
Yeah, so heavyweight's interesting right now. But as for we were talking about it, talking about women's fighting. I was at Invicta FC 39. I'll do my quick plugs and do all that stuff out there. Friday nights. Obviously, you know, Invicta always a super fun time, and I thought it was really, really funny because we were talking about judging. This one also had the main event, Jin Yu Fry taking on Ashley Cummins. And the main event, atomweights. Atomweights, very overlooked division, but they are fast as shit. Like it's really weird to see them like in real time because they are so fast. But it seemed like a pretty clear decision for Ashley Cummins. I thought. By the way, Fry missed weight. She was the atomweight champion. She missed weight. She lost her belt. So really, it was on the line for Ashley Cummins. I thought she won, and so did the entire crowd. I would have given Ashley 3 rounds, maybe even 4, and instead it was a 48-47 across the board for Jin Yu Fry. And chance of the loudest the crowd was all night. And by the way, Pearl Gonzalez and Miranda Maverick fought the fight before that. It was a flyweight contender fight, and those two massive fan bases. Miranda Maverick, she hates being called the prospect. I'm gonna call her a prospect, UFC prospect. Somewhere down the line, I have a lot of high hopes for that girl. She's fucking phenomenal. She beat Pearl Gonzalez, but those two have very, very strong fan bases, and you could tell they had a lot of fans there, and it was really loud there. It was probably the biggest crowd I've seen for an Invicta fight. But even then, the loudest the crowd was all night, and they were into the fight, but they didn't really get into it until down the stretch, was chants of bullshit from the crowd after Jin Yu Fry won. It was a fun card as always. Thanks to Invicta. I'll probably be out there next time because March 6th, the Phoenix Series 3 of the one night tournament is back. I love the one night tournaments. I can talk about them all day. It's a really big card. I'm really, really excited for that one. So, we'll see what happens there. But, now we move on to the NBA. The trade deadline happened. A lot of teams have moved. A lot of teams have shaked. The standings, we'll talk about that in a minute, but a lot of teams have gotten, okay, I'll be honest. The big winner for me, the Miami Heat. We can talk about all the moves in a second. Drummond to Cleveland, Wiggins to Golden State, Russell to Timberwolves. The Heat are the big winner to me. Trading for Andre Iguodala and Jay Crowder, among others. They signed Iggy to a big extension, and they are 4th in the East, and I think they're going to move up from here. And the thing about the Heat is we were kind of like, we've been very impressed with them all season, but I'll ask you, who's the big winner coming out of the trade deadline?
Dude, honestly, I would say Timberwolves. They got rid of Wiggins, which was like, I still, till the end of time, will have faith in that man that one day he'll be consistent. But they're like, no, it's time. And, you got two guys who really like each other, are friends with each other, and at some point in their life, and they said at some point in their lifetime, they were going to play on the same team in the NBA, no matter, some way. It doesn't matter. At some point they were, and they've made it happen. Andrew Wiggins, and D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns now both play for the Minnesota Timberwolves. This is really good. Yeah, because, these guys know each other. They like each other. There's nothing there's nothing better in this world than having, an amazing friendship and having him as your teammate in any type of situation, in anything in life. And they've made that happen. I'm surprised how easy it was to let go, because if I was Golden State, I would have been asking for more. I would have asked for a couple more things. I'm not gonna lie to you, because I'm not sure who engaged to trade. I'm not gonna lie. Whether it was Golden State or Minnesota, but it's definitely interesting. I think that was my biggest winner. I thought they did the best because when they first got back into playoffs for the first time in ever, they looked terrible. After that, they just crashed, haven't looked great. It's looked bad. They took in a massive nosedive. Obviously, they've had a coach change, team change. They've had a lot of things happen, a player change. And I think this is like a good moment to create some stability with this team.
Yeah, I agree. And here's the thing is, I brought up the Heat. I think the Heat's going to be the winners for this year. I think the moves they made could potentially get them out of the East this year. I think down the line, the Tims are going to be the winner of, like I said, this will be down the line. Because this year, they're not going to be the playoffs. It's pretty much out of reach. I remember whenever the start of the season happened, and we were all like, holy shit, Timberwolves might make the playoffs. The Timberwolves and the Suns were the two shock teams. Both of them have very much cooled down.
Not as bad as the Timberwolves, though.
Oh, not even close. The Suns still in striking distance.
Did you see the memes are like, in honor of Kobe, the Timberwolves are going to lose 24 straight games? I was like, oh my god. It's so
yeah,
bad.
I did see that. It was funny.
I think they were on a 14 or 12. It was getting up there. It was bad.
You know what? The Suns are within 5 games of the 8th seed, so it's not impossible.
We just beat the Houston Rockets, who don't have a center now, which we'll get to here in a second.
Oh god, I can't wait to talk about that. By the way, the Thunder apparently were meant to be a part of that trade involving the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat were trying to get Danilo Gallinari.
Okay,
if they got him, would have been game over.
Because then we could talk about everything regarding the wins, the losses, or surprise, whatever, right? So I'm gonna go a little back to December. So Cleveland, there was Utah and Cleveland got into a trade. Jordan Clarkson is now part of the Utah Jazz. Since then, Jordan Clarkson's helped the team a lot. Mike Conley, kind of out of the picture at this point. Wasn't doing that good coming into the team. They kind of have Donovan running point, which has worked out for the most part. I haven't watched so many of the games, but they're winning. So there's that. From there on, I'm just going to try to do the notable ones. Well, okay, I guess we'll just mention it. Jet T, Trayvon Graham, coming from Minnesota. Minnesota receiving Allen Crabbe. A little trade. I guess they're just trying to get a younger guy, a decent guy who can do some decent work. I don't know. Just want to get rid of old Jeff T, kind of get out of that old system they had with him and whoever. Still a good guy. I felt like they should have kept him. It is what it is. Here we go. Let's go down more. Okay, Golden State, Willie Cauley-Stein. Mavericks pick up Willie Cauley-Stein. And, Golden State in return gets a pick. Nothing too crazy there. Mavericks had an injured center. He was out. But now we get into this month of trades. So, the whole 4-team trade to the Atlanta Hawks from Houston, Clint Capella and Nene. Following that, the Denver Nuggets receive Bates Diop from Minnesota, Shabazz Napier from Minnesota, Noah Vonleh from Minnesota, and Gerald Green from the Houston Rockets, which is a really good pickup because Denver's looking really good, and that's just a nice other good little role piece there. And then the Houston Rockets in return receive Jordan Bell, the 2024 Golden State second-round pick, and Robert Covington from Minnesota. Now, finally, the Minnesota Timberwolves receive Malik Beasley, Juan Hernan Gomez, Jared Vanderbilt, Evan Turner, and the 2020 Brooklyn Nets protected first-round pick. Okay, Josh. At this point, what do you think so far at this point? I mean, we haven't even gotten to the rest. There's still more from here.
I think that, like, okay, here's the thing right now. This year has been, like, can we agree? This year has been extremely weird for the NBA. Like, just as a whole.
The last couple. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, the last couple. But this year, more in particular, because you have so many teams. Like, there is such, like, a wide gap between the good and the bad this year. But also, not even just that. Like, you have teams that should not be as good as they are. You have overexcelling teams. You have teams that are just completely shitting the bed that should not be where they are. But, like, I don't know what to really kind of make of a lot of these moves outside of like the really, really big ones. Okay, like, obviously some of the trades you brought up, like role players getting moved around. Overall, like, for this year, I think the implications of a lot of the trades this year, I think Houston moving all of their centers was strange. And by the way, they played the Lakers without a single center on the roster, and they won. By the way, it wasn't even close. They won by like.
Then they played the Suns though, and what happened?
Oh yeah, I mean the
Westbrook was
champion.
Westbrook was that. We'll give him that.
And to be fair, Westbrook's been the heart of that team lately. I'm not sure if you've been checking those Rockets games. James Harden's been struggling a bit this season. He's getting his points, but if you look at his percentages, they've been complete and utter ass lately.
I mean, let me be real with you though. I mean, Harden does have a tendency to have really shitty percentages as a whole.
Yeah, but this year more than normal. And Westbrook's kind of against the Lakers. He put up 41 points, 17 for 28 shooting. He only attempted 2 3-pointers, made one of them, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. The dude has been the heart of that team lately, so I'm not surprised that they lost whenever he didn't play against the Suns. Yeah, they won that game against the Lakers with no centers, which I thought was really fucking funny, but, you know.
Who have AD. I mean, not a center necessarily, a power forward, but, you know.
He can work as a center. He doesn't like to, but, you know.
And then at this point, Minnesota's just trying to build like some youth around these guys, but then maybe get some role players in. I think that's what they're kind of heading towards to kind of help the future.
Yeah, and I like their moves. I really like their moves for next year.
Oh yeah, and
for next year.
But we'll have fun. Maybe they'll get on a little fat win streak, and we'll be like, oh, okay, so this is what we got for next year.
Yeah, for next year. Like, I was really disappointed in them because they started off the season so hot, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, maybe they'll do something, and then full credit to Wiggins. Wiggins went to Golden State, and he's been his first game is pretty good. I think it's a win-win for both teams, considering they never really wanted Russell to begin with. And Golden State, they get a guy. I think Wiggins is going to work really good in that system. I just think he will. I think he's going to put up those points. He's going to look good this year.
I mean,
and then next year, next year, whenever the team's all healthy, we'll see what really happens.
I mean, no matter what next year they'll have. At some point, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Andrew Wiggins. So I mean, they're not
scoring on that team.
Yeah, they're not looking too bad. And then moving on, we talked about that when Minnesota gave up their first 2021 protected first-round pick and their 2021 second-round pick. Minnesota in return received Amari Spelling and Jacob Evans, as well as D'Angelo Russell. We talked about that. W on both sides.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And then to follow that, Golden State just gave away Alec Burks, Glenn Robinson, Philadelphia, and received even more picks. Dallas's 2020 second-round pick, and 2021 Denver's second-round pick, and 2022 Toronto's second-round pick. So they're building up some picks here. Maybe they're planning on making a big move and picking up a player, or they're just going to stack up these picks future-wise and just kind of rebuild the team going forward slowly and surely. And then but going forward, Miami Heat, Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies will see Justin Winslow, young player, good guy. Not having the best season this year, but had a good one last year, so there's hope there. Dion Waiters, Gorgie Dang from Minnesota. And then the Miami Heat received Andre Iguodala, Jay Crowder, Solomon Hill in return, all three from Memphis. And then Minnesota was the third team in this trade who received James Johnson from Miami. A lot of people don't think this is really a W. Something I listened to. People don't think this was a big move for the Heat or anything, but I think it is. I think at this point that Heat team is just bringing in reinforcements.
They really are.
That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Iggy still is doing good. Just because Iggy isn't putting up the massive numbers doesn't mean he can't help a team win. Sometimes you just need that guy who can do something. And then they got Jay Crowder, who's like 3 and D, which is what you want. That makes it easier for guys like Jimmy Butler and the guys around him like Tyler and stuff who can help him make up for their mistakes. Because I mean, this is these guys' first year in the playoffs. Like these young guys, they're coming into a new this new thing, and I think this is good because they'll have these guys who can help them there, teach them about their mistakes, and help them going forward. So as far as when it comes to this, I mean, I'm happy with the Miami Heat. I mean, I still think even with Jimmy Butler, like before, like if you don't even have Tyler, or because before the season you didn't know what Tyler was going to be or none was going to be. You just thought the Heat were going to have these guys, and that was it. I had no faith in that Heat team because of that, because I didn't know what the rookies were going to do. Obviously, rookies came in, rookies helped, and that's made the world of a difference. Outside of that, I mean, anybody who predicted this before that and guessed, and were lucky enough to guess the Heat would be at this point, is just extremely fucking lucky, because there's no way you could have predicted this with knowing that the team would have this kind of success with the kind of players they have now.
Yeah, and so many guys on that team have overexcelled, and Jimmy Butler has really turned out to be an incredible leader for them. Like, I was a guy, he was really, really good in Chicago, and he's been a good player everywhere he's gone, but I was like, kind of caused a big scene in Minnesota, and maybe he's not as great of a leader. Like, obviously, I don't know shit, I'm not in the locker room, but he's turned out to be a great leader, and he's been the face of that team, and a lot of people were like, whenever he went to Miami, like, what the fuck, what's he doing? Like, he's apparently not going to win anything, he's just chasing the money, and all that stuff. Nah, man, and now they got Andre Iguodala. They got a lot of guys. Tyler Herro's contributing. You have a lot of dudes in that squad, and they can make a run. Like I said, that East. People say the Bucks are going to walk right through them. I think that East is up for grabs. The Raptors have won 14 straight games
out of nowhere.
Yeah, not even that out of nowhere. They were consistent the whole season, and they were champs last year. And yeah, they were champs last year with Kawhi, but Golden State was completely injured, the whole thing. And then guys like Siakam took that next step to becoming like such an amazing player. Like he was already a good player, but now he's like an amazing player, and that team has just made a lot of moves and they're looking great. The Celtics still look good. The Heat, they made these moves to contend. The 76ers get their shit together. They can be a force. Oladipo's back on the Pacers. There's so many, and then I don't even need to talk about 7 or 8 teams. Who gives a flying fuck? But you have these guys that are like...
It's all good. KD's going to come back.
Oh, could you imagine that, though? Like, if he comes back in time for the postseason? Oh.
And Kyrie's there, too. They're like, fuck it. Let's just play these last couple games out, bro.
That'd be incredible. I wonder how his... he's still with the games, though, so he's still a part of the team. I wonder how his recovery's coming.
It'd be a while. It looked tough.
Yeah. Anyways.
Okay, well, going forward, so Los Angeles Clippers and New York Knicks made a trade. Knicks, in this case, received Maurice Harkless, 2020 LA Clippers first-round pick, 2021 LA Clippers first-round pick swap, 2021 Detroit second-round pick from the LA Clippers, and the draft rights to Usop Sanin, 2018, number 44 from the Washington Wizards. And in return, the Clippers received Marcus Morris, who's been fucking killing it this season for New York, and then Isaiah Thomas.
They waived Isaiah.
Sadly, yes. I knew that was going to happen. So
yeah, I felt that.
I thought he was going to stay there, but I knew that was actually a reality going into it. So, it sucks. Hopefully we have Isaiah Thomas in the league again at some point. I'm sure someone will pick him up. Heartbreaking for him. Big dub for the Clippers, though, picking up Marcus Morris. Another reinforcement. Once again, just making that team even better.
Do you know they almost got he almost went to the Lakers?
Yeah, the whole situation. The Lakers almost got a lot of people. Let's put it like that.
Yeah, they almost got Rose, and they almost got this person, and yeah, but
Don't worry, I'll tell you the second what they're gonna do. And then Cleveland got Andre Drummond for no reason. The Detroit Pistons now have Brandon Knight, John Henson, and the 2023 conditional second-round pick. This is a fucking L for both teams. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
yeah, you saw it.
This is bad. Outside of that, I mean, there's more tiny little trades, but this is the only ones that we should probably talk about. And this is bad. Andre's gonna walk as soon as he can. Get a fat contract on another team, or he might just say fuck and be like, you know something, I'll just stack up the money here and I'll wait. You know, I'll deal with this shit.
I don't even understand why Cleveland made that move.
I don't understand.
I don't understand it at all.
They didn't benefit out of it at all. They didn't even get a pick out of it. I would have probably at least asked for one of the young guys on that team. Like shit, like I would have asked for Mikhailuk or something. I don't even know if Mikhailuk's still on the team. Pretty sure he is, but I would have asked for a second round pick in return. Like it doesn't make any sense. They literally gave Drummond away for fucking nothing.
Maybe they just, which I don't understand that.
Both the trade is bad on both ends. It's fucking shit on both ends. There's no doubt.
Terrible. Like I don't understand. I don't understand why. Okay, first of all, I don't understand why the Pistons wouldn't trade him for more, considering he's been having a great year, and even outside of this year, he's one of the top rebounding centers in the league. He's a former All-Star. All the accolades you can talk about. Yeah, he's gonna like demand a big contract, and he already has a big contract right now. But like, why? There's no, especially if you're not gonna trade away someone like D Rose. Like you might as well. You're stuck in cap hell. You might as well try and compete for a playoff spot somewhere down the line. Like there's no benefit unless you're gonna get a big pick, but Brandon Knight, John Henson, and a second round pick for a fucking all-star? Like, it's just, like, I don't get it. And why would the Cavs do it? Unless you're trying to make Kevin Love happy, but here's the thing, Drummond's not gonna win them more games. They might win a couple more games this year. Like, they're going to. Drummond's a big impact. I'm not sure why I didn't say that. Like, Drummond's gonna win them some more games, and maybe they're trying to make Kevin Love happy because he's been upset there's nobody on the team worth a fuck, but like, you should have gotten rid of him too. Just straight up tank. You're the worst team in the East. Now this is going to make you the fourth worst team in the East. Like you're not getting much better. And like it doesn't make any sense. Like it makes no sense on either side. Nobody benefits. It's the rare lose. Like maybe that second round pick will turn out to be something amazing. Maybe Brandon Knight will show something that he never has in his entire basketball career. Like
finally he'll be good.
maybe he'll do something, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Like it's a stupid move. And normally I don't blast trades. I'm like, it's too early to tell. But like I'm so confident. I'm so confident nobody wins here.
It's bad because more likely than not, everything that the Pistons got in return will never turn into anything. And to top it off, you know, Drummond is not going to stay at Cleveland long enough for your guys' rebuild that's, you know, sadly not even going that well. There's young guys there who are fine and have potential, but it's not going anywhere. You really don't have a star to build around. So it's just bad all around. And it sucks. It sucks for him, it sucks for the team, it sucks for everybody, but that's just how it is.
I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I don't like the move. For anybody. Like, I'm not sure if it's obvious based on the fact that I've been ranting, but it's just dumb.
Yeah, I know. Sadly, we're not going to get any more NBA trades. I'm pretty sure this is done for the year, right? So
yeah.
So summer transfer window opens up, and then you know, unless the Lakers decide to sign Darren Collison and who else on a contract, I mean, this is the situation right now.
See that J.R. Smith's apparently going to try out for the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah, they're going to do they're going to get a look at him.
I'm surprised they're chasing him and not Darren Collison. I feel like Darren Collison would be a better person to chase at this point. But hey, it's the Lakers. They know what they're doing. I mean, they got LeBron James on the team and Anthony Davis.
That's true. I can't doubt Lakers fans, but they say they're going to get everybody now.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think that's it for as far as NBA news. If you have anything else pending,
I don't got a whole lot else. Yeah, we can go on to boxing, which is boxing news is actually pretty late. But we didn't actually talk about it based off stuff that was going on. Like, because it happened like Thursday, it was really weird. Jake Paul is now a 1-0 professional boxer, now an undefeated professional boxer, knocking out Anderson Gibb in the first round. We both predicted Paul to get the win. But yeah, were you surprised at all at how easy it was, and what's your excitement level for the KSI fight, which is gonna happen?
Oh, very excited. Probably more excited than, I don't even know. Maybe I'm not more excited. It's gonna hit me when the day comes and they announce it. Thing is though, I'm excited for Antonio Brown versus Logan Paul at this point.
Oh shit, yeah. Well, that's if Antonio Brown can stop getting arrested. So,
well,
it's a big if.
I mean, was he arrested after the little Miami meetup they had right there when they talked and they're like,
no, he actually was not arrested after that one, but
yeah. So, if that happens, I'll be very excited about that. I mean, Logan's a 0-1 professional boxer, Antonio Brown's going to go into that fight as a 0-0 professional boxer and a 0 NFL Super Bowl champ as well. Good meme.
Good meme.
But this is the moment right now. Holy shit, if this happens. Also, honestly, if Antonio Brown's wins, I'd love to see, KSI or whoever wins the next fight, versus Antonio Brown for the memes.
For the memes.
Something. I'm excited. I just wanted to announce it at this point because it's going to happen. It doesn't make any sense. Eddie Hearn's probably already in talks with JJ, probably trying to figure out a month, a weight. Honestly, if I were JJ, I'd probably try to get the weight down low or get a little lower than whatever they fought at last time, him against Logan. And because when they originally fought, they fought at 150, 160, something like that, right? The first ever time when they're still amateurs. And I felt like JJ looked better like that than when he was up higher in a weight class.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I think JJ looks better at a lower weight class. I think his cardio is a lot better and it benefits him more, especially if he's going to be throwing a lot. So if he can make that happen, that'd be great. I think if he can make it at least go down to 160 or something, it'd be good. I know the cut will be bad, but I mean, try to make it for the end of the year for next year. I mean, if you are a professional boxer now, I mean, this is what the lifestyle is, JJ. So make it happen.
Make it happen. Make the fight happen. I can only assume it will be happening relatively soon. Not relatively soon, but like within this year, I'd say. The hype is there. It got a lot of views on YouTube, and there wasn't that much hype going into it, I thought, but the face-off afterwards, I saw lots of people talking about it, so, yeah, man, I'm excited for that one. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'll say that. It's gonna be a lot of fun. A lot of people like, has YouTube boxing jumped the shark? I don't think so. I think we're getting to the climax.
Oh yeah. Once we get Antonio Brown, I think that's when we hit the...
We've jumped the shark.
And then after that, when someone fights a professional boxer and they actually beat him,
and they get their ass murdered.
No, saying they beat him because
you think the YouTuber's gonna win?
No, if the YouTuber were the win, because that'd be amazing. You know what I mean?
But Logan Paul's gonna fight in Bellator, so.
Is that actually a rumor?
He met with Scott Coker. I don't know.
Oh shit. Well, I mean, we've seen the kind of opponents Bellator can set up for their, for the people. So, I mean,
Jack Swagger's gonna fight me soon. I didn't really want to break the announcement, but the fight's coming up. I'm gonna fight Jack Swagger.
You mean Jack Swagger's gonna fight Logan Paul?
Oh fuck, I'd watch it.
All jokes aside, that's in the realm of possibility. You know what I mean?
He's a big guy.
They're both wrestlers.
It could happen, actually. That's not that crazy. But Jack Swagger would have a huge advantage. Like, Logan's, 6'2", 220 probably. Mm-hmm. Jack Swagger's 6'7", 265. So, I don't think it would happen. I think, if anything, Logan would fight at light heavy.
Light heavy. Well, something, Jack's going to come down. They'll convince him to do it eventually.
Yeah.
That's all good. I'd love to see that, though. I think that'd be fucking hilarious.
I think that, the free shows, you think about Bellator. Bellator does a lot of freak shows, and I just love it. I love a lot of the stuff Bellator does. And, is it lower production value? Absolutely. But it is Pride Never Die style shit going on, so I love that.
Okay. Oh, dude, or maybe the Antonio Brown fight's gonna be an MMA fight. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh my god, he'd die if it was. I could see him beating him in boxing, not in MMA.
Yeah, no, it's just a wrestling.
Things. Whenever you train wrestling for so long like he has, you're going to have a massive advantage.
We'll see, dude. We've never seen that wrestling. We've seen it in high school. We haven't seen it in recent years. So that's what I'm trying. That's why I want to see it.
Yeah, that's true.
I still love to see Logan Paul in the UFC, though. I can't deny it.
I mean, so would I, but I think he fits better in Bellator.
Oh, for the memes, yeah.
For the memes.
But I mean, that's it for that, right? I think we're
I believe so. A bit of a shorter one because I got to jet off to work. But Courtside Soundoff on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, anywhere you can find a podcast. We're probably there. Twitter, Courtside Sound 1. He's at _01. I'm at Josh Shevanoff. You guys can find all our stuff. That's where we put our UFC 247 predictions. There's a card happening, and we're doing it like before. We're doing the podcast after, but we didn't have one before. Time to preview it. We'll have the picks there. So, this is going to be a lot of stuff coming up soon. Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury is happening. There's a bunch of UFC. Yoel Romero, Israel Adesanya's next month. Joseph Benavidez fighting for the title this month. There's a lot of stuff going on. So we appreciate you guys as always. Maybe we'll do another media thing somewhere down the line. Big 3 if you're coming back. But we appreciate all of you guys' support, and so we need to get out of here. So peace and buckers. Mouse click.